Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be updating you on some more current big breaking news. Now this is regarding Mesut Ozil, the current Manchester United target, and Barcelona target as well, because Man United have been heavily linked with him, for quite a while. We know also too Barcelona have been linked with Mesut Ozil as well, and we know that he's coming to an end of his deal in June, in the summer. And if he is not to sign a new deal, by the 31st of December, then Arsenal will decide to probably try to cash in 20-30 million pound in for him in January, rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer. But reportedly now, what's come out in the press, a few media outlets has basically said there's been furthermore contract talks, between the representatives as Ozil and Arsenal Football Club. There's been more contract talks because they had stalled for quite a while, as we all know, but the press are now reporting, regarding Mesut Ozil. Reportedly, it says Arsenal are close to agreeing a new deal for Mesut Ozil, and if this deal is to materialise, it probably will be a 3-year deal as well. So this could, this news could put Arsenal fans, into a bit of a frenzy as well. But reportedly, it said they've been in discussions. Arsenal's Ozil's representatives and Arsenal have had discussions over this, because Wenger's basically said regarding Ozil, he will not be sold in the January window, and that actually the Sun are actually suggesting now it is very close now. He will be agreeing a new deal reportedly after positive contract negotiations. And he did actually say weeks and weeks ago that Ozil's agent had come out and said that the contract talks were going in the right direction. But reportedly now they've recently had more discussions about securing Ozil a new deal, and reportedly these discussions have gone in the right direction. So basically it is reported now from the press that Ozil is close to agreeing a new deal with Arsenal, but reportedly he's earning around £140,000 a week, is the German. He's earning £140,000 a week, is the German, and he's demanding a higher wage increase. So he's demanding wages of over £300,000 is Mesut Ozil as well. But Man United did actually want to let him. Man United wanted to let Ozil see out his contract, and then get him on a free transfer in the summer, rather than pay for him in January. So basically now Ozil could now secure a new deal, at Arsenal, according to what the press have said. The representatives and Arsenal have been in discussions. And as I said, Ozil's agent said weeks and weeks ago, the contract talks were going in the right direction, for Mesut Ozil. So reportedly now this could be a big blow for us, because potentially he's been on our radar, for about 6-7 weeks now, since it broke out in the press about Mesut Ozil as well. So potentially we know he's been a Barcelona target as well, as we all know, because obviously Barcelona have been using him as an alternative. But saying about Mesut Ozil, yes, so it did confirm the contract talks had stalled, but it's actually said in the press he is close to agreeing a new deal. This is coming from the Sun, but basically if Arsenal can still not get an agreement done by the 31st of December, then Arsenal will look to cash in for the German in the January window as well. But as I said, we've been heavily into Man United. I said Barcelona, as we've just said, using him as an alternative, because Philippe Coutinho is still their main priority target, but they've got other alternatives as well. And Mesut Ozil have reportedly told teammates 4 or 5 weeks ago he did want to join Man United. I don't think Arsenal do want to actually sell him off. This is why they try to secure him a new deal. And plus, they wouldn't want to sell him to Manchester United either, because, Man United and Arsenal are arch rivals. And Ozil actually did admit, he was keen on staying in the Premier League as well. But Messi from Barcelona did say, he'd rather have Coutinho than Mesut Ozil at Barcelona. And actually, Arsene Wenger said, it said allegedly the other week that reports are stemming from the Spanish press that Ozil had agreed a contract with Barcelona. It also said he'd agreed to join Barcelona, and Ozil's agents also been in discussions with Barcelona as well. But Arsene Wenger had basically said regarding Ozil that he had not agreed to join Barcelona. It did say he'd been given permission the other week in the press to leave in January, and he could be available for around £20-30 million. But obviously, we know Ozil has got a record of assists in the Premier League since he's come. He's made over a century appearances now for Arsenal as Mesut Ozil. This is his 5th season now with Arsenal. Also, he's an ex-Real Madrid player, where he used to work with Jose Mourinho. And as I said, Jose Mourinho, is keen on reuniting with Mesut Ozil. After a fantastic effort at Real Madrid, they had 3 fantastic years together. Jose Mourinho says he's a very, very good number 10. He's Mesut Ozil, and he's also got experience of being in Germany, for 5 years, and he'd risen up the ranks with Schalke as well as Mesut Ozil. So basically now this could be a blow of us getting Mesut Ozil after recent reports saying the contract talks have been going in the right direction. The representatives of Ozil's been in discussions with the club of Arsenal, and reportedly Ozil is close to agreeing a new deal, but he's been demanding, don't forget, over £300,000 worth of wages as well as the German. But yeah, obviously we know Arsenal. Arsenal have been identifying replacements, for the likes of Ozil and Alexis Sanchez, because they're both coming to the end of their deals. And, with the Alexis Sanchez rumour, I updated with you yesterday, Sanchez basically did want to go in the August window. He did want to leave Arsenal. We know Manchester City have been interested. It's warm in here. Paris Saint-Germain willing to pay £20-30 million for him in January. Real Madrid. He said Man United had a slight interest, And, I like Ozil because his versatility is very, very good. He plays in that advanced number 7 role. He's skillful. He's very, very good in the air. He's Alexis Sanchez. And he's very, very good in the air. He's Alexis Sanchez. And he's made over a century appearances in the Premier League. He scored 45 goals with his right foot, obviously, so he's a preferred right-footed player. And he scored about 50-odd goals. Now he's in the Premier League for Arsenal. This is his 4th season now. Arsenal paid £35 million from Barcelona. And he just demanded that he wanted Champions League football in the August window. And, this is the first time in 2 decades that Arsenal, have not had a Champions League football, as we all know. As we all know, this is the first time in 2 decades Arsenal not had it, but we know Manchester City have been heavily linked with Alexis Sanchez. And he did actually say in the press yesterday, reported from the Mirror, that City are preparing to re-show their interest in Sanchez and put out a big offer in the January window. But he did actually say before that Sanchez, due to that he's coming to an end of his contract, he could be available for £20-30 million in January. He did say also Paris Saint-Germain have approached Sanchez's representatives and had discussions, because he'd approached Paris Saint-Germain quite a few times back in the August window as well at Alexis Sanchez. But obviously I think PSG basically have to sell basically before they can buy, because obviously they've got a rich owner, the rich club. They're in that list now. Paris Saint-Germain, the purchase Neymar for £198 million, they're structuring the deal for Mbappe, and they've even got Cavani added into their ranks as well. So I think PSG basically have to sell before they can buy. So due to financial fair play regulations, but I still think City are really going to show their interest in Sanchez, because obviously City, this season, want to go for the league. They haven't won it since 2014, or is it 2015? They want to go for the Champions League, which they've never won. They want to go for it all, City, this season. Actually they lost yesterday. I think that's actually their first defeat of this season. They lost to Shakhtar Donetsk as well. They didn't watch the game though. But they've still got class players in the team, because Pep Guardiola is a very, very good manager. He's got a good pedigree, just like Jose Mourinho has with Manchester United. But Pep Guardiola's got a good pedigree. He proved it with Barcelona, won honours, and I used to work with Alexis Sanchez at Barcelona. So they may be keen on reuniting with each other. Arsenal's now, Sanchez has now won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal. And he was also reportedly demanding a high wage increase as well as Mesut Ozil as well. And in his last season with Barcelona, he scored 21 goals. Did Mesut Ozil? He made Sanchez, and he made his international day in 2006. He's also had experience of playing in Italy with Udinese as well. But I think Sanchez is keen on going to City or whatever, because these teams that have been interested in him, these have got Champions League football to offer him. And Arsenal have not got this. So, potentially, I think they could lose at least one of them in January. Could Arsenal? Maybe both of them. But at least I think they'll lose one of them, because they won't want to take a financial risk on letting them go on a 3, Ozil and Sanchez, in the summer if they do not sign new deals. Looking likely Sanchez isn't going to sign a new deal. It wasn't looking like Ozil was going to sign a new deal, but now the latest reports we've heard from the Sun, that reportedly saying his camp, have suggested that he's very, very close to maybe securing a new deal after positive contract negotiations have been doing well. And this will put Arsenal into a frenzy. Hearing the news about this as well. But basically, Ozil and Sanchez, they're coming to end of deals, but they haven't had the lack of game time because the majority of this season, Arsene Wenger has been selecting both players, even though reportedly said they both want to leave the club. But Arsenal still got other players there that could leave. There's Theo Walcott in jeopardy. He could leave the club. The reportedly said that Everton have been interested in him. There's Giroud there as well, but they are not coming to end their deals. They have got longer contracts of Giroud and Theo Walcott at Arsenal, and they're not getting a lot of game time this season as well. So that's why the speculation as well that Theo Walcott and Olivier Giroud also, could leave Arsenal as well. But obviously, Arsenal's transfer policy weren't there. Arsenal's transfer policy, especially in the last couple of years, has been very, very poor. And I still think they need to reinvest and add depth into their squad. If they are going to be title contenders in the future, and they haven't won the league since 2004. As the ones had 9 years without a trophy as well. So we'll see what happens. But this could be bad for us about the Ozil, because obviously Jose Mourinho, has got quite a few potential targets. Because as it said. As it basically said yesterday, Jose Mourinho has been given he's been given £80 million to spend, by Ed Woodward. They've had discussions about the January transfer plans, and Mourinho, has had a lot of targets, on his radar, as we all know. But basically, with the Sanchez situation, as we all know, I'm going back to it. Arsenal have been identifying replacements, for Alex Sanchez. We know Thomas Lemar was the main prize target back in August, didn't get a deal over the line for him. Draxler's been mentioned, Nabil Fekir from Lyon's been mentioned. There are some central target replacements for Alexis Sanchez and all that. We know with the Sanchez there were talks of Sterling, and Alexis Sanchez are part of a swap deal back in the August window. And Wenger was willing to go along with this, but basically City were reluctant and were resisted to offload Raheem Sterling because he's been at City 3 years and he's made a fantastic impact this season for Manchester City. He's looking very, very good. He's scored 9 goals this season. Don't forget for Sanchez, Arsenal could have cashed £50-60 million in for him right at the end of the August window, but obviously Arsenal couldn't find that replacement. This is why Arsenal didn't go along with it. But yeah, I think Sterling would have been a fantastic replacement as well, because Raheem Sterling basically in 2015 by a professional study by SoccerX, he was he was named the most valuable young player in Europe as well. He's also won the Golden Boy Award. He's up the youth system with Queen's Park Rangers. He went to Liverpool, made all century appearances for Liverpool. And then City paid £49 million for him in 2015, the highest paid fee for an English player. This is his 3rd season now. I think he's made over the century appearances now for Manchester City as well as Raheem Sterling. He can play as attacking mid. He can play as a left winger as well. Can Raheem Sterling. He's still got 2 years left on his current contract as Raheem Sterling, but he did actually come out in the press regarding Sterling the other day that reportedly City have been in the process of trying to secure him a new deal, and City were preparing to pay him like £300,000 a week to make him like one of the highest paid players and stuff. But it did say, Raheem Sterling had come out and stalled the contract talks reportedly until the summer after the World Cup, reportedly. But he has still got 2 years left on his current deal. Sterling did actually say that Zidane were interested in him. That Real Madrid were reportedly interested in Raheem Sterling the other day in the press as well. But there were talks about a mate-weight fee, and there were talks about, Sterling and Sanchez, as a potential swap deal. But it never materialised. But as we all know, Arsenal, have identified quite a few replacements. We know that Nabil Fekir has been mentioned as well in the press. Nabil Fekir did actually report to stemming the other day that Arsenal were actually closing in on a deal for Nabil Fekir of around £60 million, club record fee for Nabil Fekir. Nabil Fekir plays attacking mid. He can also play up front as well, can Nabil Fekir. Nabil Fekir is a very, very good player, to be quite fair. He scored 10 goals, 10 assists last season. Link-up play is good, he contributes his game well, and he can try he's good at creating as well as this player. And they've identified him as a good replacement for Alexis Sanchez as well of Arsenal and Nabil Fekir, because obviously, he'd be a fantastic partnership with Lacazette, would Nabil Fekir, because obviously, they used to play with each other at Lyon, did Nabil Fekir and Lacazette, until obviously Arsenal paid £52 million for Lacazette in August, and he's done very, very well for Arsenal as Lacazette. But Nabil Fekir, as I said, he's been in the senior team for Lyon since 2013. He got promoted into the senior team in 2013. Did Nabil Fekir? He reasoned up the youth system very, very well. Made Zintas's debut for France in 2015. Very, very good for France. Played in the Lyon reserve team as well. Did the player, but he became more of a regular in his second season in the senior team with Lyon as well. Did Nabil Fekir, and during 2015-16 didn't feature much, due to injury as well. Did Nabil Fekir, but Arsenal have identified him as a potential replacement. Sanchez, we know Julian Draxler from Paris Saint-Germain's been mentioned as well. It also confirmed the other week that Liverpool had been in contact with Paris Saint-Germain over the potential move for Julian Draxler, because he's another player whose versatility is very, very good. And if Coutinho is to basically leave Liverpool, they could identify, Julian Draxler potential ideal replacement. But obviously Arsenal would identify Draxler as a suitable replacement for Alexis Sanchez, because Draxler is still only young. He is at Paris Saint-Germain, as I said, but he is going to be surplus to requirements at Paris Saint-Germain, as I said, due to basically, the amount of money that PSG have invested. He's not going to be guaranteed first team football week in, week out, is the current player. But Julian Draxler, voted the best player in the Confederations Cup. Very, very good in the 2014 FIFA World Cup as well. Very, very good in the 2016 Euro Championship as well, was Julian Draxler. And as I said, he's a very, very... For Schalke, he's not the ranks fantastically well. With Schalke, he made 171 appearances, scored 31 goals with Schalke. Made his debut at just the age of 17 years of age. And he is a good young age prospect, as well as Julian Draxler as well. But yeah, very good with Schalke, very good with Wolfsburg, and PSG had only purchased him £42 million in January, from Wolfsburg as well. But very, very good player indeed, and I do like him. And I do like him, but potentially, Arsenal have got quite a few players on their radar. And as I said, we know that Thomas Lemar's been mentioned. There's still rumours saying that Arsenal could revive their interest in Thomas Lemar. As I said, because obviously Thomas Lemar was Arsenal's main priority target during the window, but Monaco are reluctant and resisted to offload Lemar due to the amount of money they raised for the departure of their players, and that was nearly £300 million they raised to the departure of their players, because Lemar can play through the middle, he can play on each wing as well, can Thomas Lemar. And reportedly, Arsenal had been interested, and Arsenal were prepared to pay up to £92 million for Lemar right at the end of August, but it never materialised. Before that, Arsenal had 2 bids rejected, and then Liverpool had been interested. They had 2 bids rejected for Lemar as well, but the Monaco president said it's likely he could leave in the summer. Made his international debut in 2016. He's become more of a regular for the France team, especially since making his senior debut in 2016. He's represented from under 17 to under 21. Lemar is a good young age prospect. And he said Arsenal are to return in January, but they're not preparing to pay up to the £90 million mark, for Lemar in January as well. I think he's still on the contract. I think he's still got a couple of years left. I think at least on his contract is Thomas Lemar with Monaco. They got him from Cham for £3 million, where he played 32 times. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But potentially also another potential Arsenal target, is Leon Goretzka now. Reportedly, it's just actually confirmed in the press that Arsenal are interested in Leon Goretzka, Manchester United are interested in Leon Goretzka, because obviously, Jose Mourinho is basically still looking to strengthen our midfield, and Arsenal could actually identify, Leon Goretzka as a replacement for Ozil, if he is to leave Arsenal. But Leon Goretzka reportedly, I think he does want to leave Schalke, does Leon Goretzka. I think he does want to leave Arsenal. Schalke does Leon Goretzka, but I think he did say he'll make his future in January, Leon Goretzka. I think, the Schalke director has basically, admitted that... what did he say now? The Schalke director basically admitted that he wants basically Leon Goretzka to stay at Schalke, because he plays defensive midfielder. He can play on each wing as well. Can Leon Goretzka as well. And Leon Goretzka reportedly, I think these teams that are interested in him, it's mentioned Barcelona, Manchester United, Bayern Munich. I think Juventus have also been mentioned as well about Leon Goretzka. There's been a lot of teams interested in Leon Goretzka as well. But as I said, I think Schalke have offered him a new deal, and reportedly Leon Goretzka has turned this new deal down with Schalke as well. But reportedly he's a good young age upcoming prospect, and reportedly the teams are set to have discussions with Leon Goretzka's representatives over the making a potential move. But he's coming to an end of his current contract in 2018 as well. He's a player, but a very, very exciting German player. Is Leon Goretzka. He's a joint top scorer for Germany Confederations Cup. He's risen up the Schalke youth system very, very well. I think Schalke just paid £3 million for him from Bochum, and he signed a 5-year professional contract. Did Leon Goretzka as well, but he's an ex-Bochum player, where he's up the youth system very, very well, and he made his professional debut for Bochum in 2012, did Leon Goretzka, but I don't think Schalke want to lose him because he's still only young, and plus they lost Klasnic, during the summer as well to Arsenal, so there's been a catalogue of teams interested in Leon Goretzka because he's distinct in his play, his ball control's good, his penetration's very, very good, his speed's good, he's got good demonstrating qualities, he's a strong runner. He'd be fantastic in the Manchester United squad, and any team, if he come to the Premier League, he would dramatically improve their squad as well. But Jose Mourinho basically did tell the board that to go on and sign Leon Goretzka. But as I said, is it confirmed yesterday on one of my live videos that basically the board have said we basically have to sell before we can buy. It did say, Ed Woodward and Jose Mourinho have been discussions, about plans for the January window. And it said Jose Mourinho's getting around 80 million to 90 million to spend in January on players as well. But basically, you could still see a few players go, before that happens. And basically, Jose Mourinho wants to address that left-hand side, as I've explained. He still wants to address our left-hand side of the squad, because that left-hand side still needs addressing, as we all know. And as the reports were stemming from yesterday, the latest midfielder basically to be mentioned in the Manchester, latest midfielder to be mentioned, he can play as attacking mid. I think he can also play as a defensive mid as well. It is Milinkovic Savic from Lazio, because reportedly he said in the press yesterday or the last couple of days that reportedly Man United have showed an interest in him. Man United have been scouting the player. They watched Milinkovic Savic, during his game, during Lazio's game with Sampdoria. Lazio won the game 2-1. I think Lazio sitting 50s in the Serie A at the moment. But Milinkovic Savic, Lazio paid just over £3 million for him from Genk in 2015 as well. There's been a few teams interested. It's also mentioned Juventus have been interested in him, Man City have been interested in him. And these reports are stemming from Italy, that Manchester United are keeping, a close eye out on the player. We're keeping a close eye out on him as well. And actually, I think Lazio demanded that they want around about £88 million for the player as well, if he is to leave Lazio as well. But he does look another promising young age prospect as well. So Mourinho's basically has identified him as a suitable replacement, for Marouane Fellaini, because basically, as we all know, Fellaini's coming into his deal at Old Trafford. We know we've still got players that are coming to end of the deals, as I've already explained. Marouane Fellaini's coming to end of his deal. Jose Mourinho's concerned that we could lose him on a free transfer in the summer. We've got Mkhitaryan, who Mourinho hasn't been selecting often lately due to his recent bad form, but fantastic early on this season, scoring a couple of goals, providing quite a lot of assists as well. We've got Carrick there, who's been at the club over a decade now, won every single domestic cup. Obviously, he's not going to be the first choice in that midfield, even when he's fully fit. And he's going to be coming to the halt of his career soon, considering his age and that. Same with Ander Herrera. He's coming to the end of his current deal, but we have the option to put a further 12 months on his current contract. And, we've got same at that left-back position as well, with Ashley Young, who's without doubt being our best player on that left-hand side. We've got he's coming to an end of his current deal. We have the option to put a further 12 months on his current contract. Same with Daley Blind, who hasn't played much in the Premier League this season. He's been played majority of times in the European games, but in the Premier League hasn't played much. There's been talks about he feels his career could be over in the summer with Man United as well. But obviously, if that does happen, Man United will trigger the 12-month extension so we can cash in on the player. Luke Shaw's been mentioned. So basically, even though he got praised for his performance against Moscow, and basically Mourinho's promised Luke Shaw more chances in the United team. This is why Jose Mourinho is looking to get more players into the squad, because we could see quite a few players go. We could even see maybe 2 at least go in the January transfer window. Believe it or not, and this is why Jose Mourinho is looking to address the Manchester United squad more as well. He did say he identified 4 left-footed players, did Jose Mourinho as well. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe to my channel, as always, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.